what's up, folks? Welcome back to On Texas Football. Welcome back to our Sunday night live stream, and we have a ton to talk about. I'm sure by now a lot of you have rewatched the game, had a chance to process the Texas-Ohio State game. We'll give you our thoughts about it as well. I'm lifetime Longhorn Rob Davis. Pleased to be joined by lifetime Longhorn, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Bobby Burton, and the estimable Jerry Hamilton as well. We appreciate all you guys for joining us. You guys know how it works. These Sunday shows devoted to you. It's a show of the people, for the people, and by the people. So throw out your questions, comments. We'll address as many of them as we can. Super chats, always jump to the front of the line. You can interrupt the show at any time and talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. Just throw a super chat on there, and we will discuss it for you. So we appreciate all you guys joining us. All right, let's just dive right into it, guys. After, I'm sure by now you guys have rewatched it. And the coaches always say, even from the high school level, college, and pro, I've heard the coachism. That it's never as good as you thought, and it's never as bad as you thought. So that's the question here. Did you come to that conclusion about the Texas game versus Ohio State? Was it as good as you thought in the elements where Texas did excel? And was it as bad as you thought or not as bad as you thought in the places where Texas underachieved in this matchup? I'll throw it to you first, Jerry.
Yeah, so no, it's never as bad as you think unless it's really, really ugly. Now, look, I think Arch has to play a heck of a lot better. Let's start there. And it's 7:23 and our red zone offense still. But that's the one thing that is worse. That's the one thing that is worse. The more you watch. But look, I think I'll say this. I guess the Ohio State fans are done with us now. But I'll say this. The Texas defense is going to give Texas an opportunity to win every single game this year. So I've heard on the Ohio State say, well, Ohio State had enough points. Brian Day really wasn't trying to do much offensively. I'm just here to tell you BS. There is no coach that wants to walk out of his own building, win, lose, or draw with 11 first downs and 203 yards. No chance, no way. Take that crap and take it somewhere else. We're real on this show. So, no, the Texas defense was tremendous. I think the Texas defense is going to be really, really good. I know Ohio State is really, really good on defense. I think they have tremendous personnel at linebacker and in their secondary. And look, I think the Texas offensive line, if this is just – and then there was the other Ohio State fan said, oh, well, Matt Patricia just lets Texas run the ball. No, that's not how this game goes either. No, he didn't want to give up 160, 70 yards rushing. BS. No, he didn't. If this is the start of the Texas run game this year, I like where it can go. I like the more counters, more power. I like what I saw in the run game from Texas. I think there's a lot of positives to take away because I think Texas defense is very good. Boom Easter's a weapon. I think this offensive line is only going to get better. I think C.J. Baxter will only get better. I do think Arch will improve. I'm going to have to see how much he's going to improve after game one, though. That's where my big takeaway is because that's going to tell you where the season goes. Is it going to be 11-1, 10-2, or 9-3?
To your point, Jerry, before I give it to Bobby here, great point, though, about what you talked about in the run game. Texas last year, predominantly an outside zone team. They were top 10 in outside zone run rate last season. And also Trey Weiser was top 10 in outside zone rush yards last season. That was their bread and butter play. Whenever it was shut down, Texas run game was shut down pretty easily, right? We watched that last year against Georgia, against Arizona State, against Ohio State. In this game, they were over 60% gap power schemes. All right, not outside zone schemes.
We talked about this going into the season, Rod.
Exactly, and they broke it out against Ohio State and were very successful on the road. That running game traveled against one of the better defenses in college football. Rewatching it, Jerry, that's something I don't think we were optimistic enough about after being in the shadow of the loss. That was really impressive. If you'd have told me that before the game, though, Bobby, I'd have told you, oh, hell yeah, Texas wins if they rush for 160 yards against Ohio State. They win. Honestly, it might be by double digits.
Brian Day would have said the same thing, by the way.
Let me ask you this. Don't stats lie?
Yes, they do.
I think so, too. And I think Jerry Hamilton, I think Jerry's wrong here. and
Bobby, no chance Ryan Day was happy with 200 yards.
Let
and
me
11 first downs.
finish.
No
Let
chance.
me finish. Let me
No
finish.
chance.
Let me finish. Okay. Of course, he didn't want to give up 160 yards rushing. Of course he didn't. No, he didn't. He wanted to give up 60.
Yeah.
Texas was good enough in the run game that they did get 160. So I do think that there's a level here, but they did not play. They played a lot of two deep coverage. They did not bring their safeties up because they allowed Texas, in my opinion, to go between the 20s. And they tried to clamp down. And when they did get up 14-0, their offense went into the deep freeze after Carnell Tate caught that ball. Julian Sayin didn't attempt another pass beyond 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage the rest of the game.
Yep. They only got past the 50 twice. That's never by design.
Let me finish. The reality is, I think that their offense, when they went up 14-0 in the third quarter, cut it. Actually, wasn't that the fourth quarter? It was. Yeah, the second touchdown was fourth quarter. They had 3 more possessions after that. I think they attempted one pass the rest of the way. That's just my opinion. Now, I will say this. I think that Texas, what does carry, and what you did say that is accurate, is I do think that the offense or the defense is going to travel. I do agree with that. Like I'm all in on this defense, in part because of some of the new pieces. Cole Brevard, I think Hero Canoe had 37 snaps yesterday. Murad Watson 30, Alex January 26, Cole Brevard 24.
They played a lot of heavy on the defensive line to stop the run.
Yeah, because they played a lot of 12 personnel. They did. Two tight ends.
So Texas played a lot of 3 defensive tackle looks, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt. But my point is, that was the one place I was really concerned. Hey, how are these guys going to hold water? I'm not worried about that anymore. I think that Texas, some big-time quarterback is going to be able to throw the ball on Texas. But big-time quarterbacks can throw the ball on just about anybody.
Yep.
And that's going to happen at times. My point is, I think the defense will travel. I think I still worry a little bit about a team that's going to throw against Texas. On offense, it was good between the 20s, and then once they got down there, I thought it completely lacked an identity. And I've watched the game twice. It's very similar to what I saw last year, in that it didn't feel like they had a clear plan inside the 10. The only thing I think they added year over year was a quarterback power and apparently the tush push.
Oh, God. It was terrible.
Am I right? I mean, that's the only thing. So,
yeah,
there are some elements there.
They went under center more. They added a couple of under center thing.
Yep. So I agree. They did add the QB sneak. I just feel like there are elements of yesterday that were better than maybe I expected in retrospect, and worse. I mean, I feel like the passing game, Arch's inaccuracy on second watch, and what I saw, I thought that was a real problem. I mean, I think you can't gun the ball 100 miles an hour when a guy's 5 yards away. I think if I were to regrade him, I'd grade him lower than I did. Now, fourth quarter, let's talk. But the first three and a half quarters, not a lot of shining moments for him other than running the football.
But I'll say this for the Texas defense. Look, Ohio State has as good a wideouts as Texas is going to face this year.
Mm-hmm.
And Julian Sayin made plays at quarterback.
He played well. There were like 3 drops on there. His stat line should look better.
He played well. So look, even the touchdown to Carnell Tate, Gilbo almost knocked that ball out of his hand. Tate made a really good play on it. So it's not like it was just a busted coverage and he's running 5 yards wide open, right? I thought Texas showed really well in defense. What's interesting about that game, which won't carry over to other games, is Ohio State wanted to protect saying, right? They wanted to run the football. They wanted to condense the game. We talked about it all week. You knew it from Ryan Day's press conference and how they averaged 60 offensive snaps a game last year. And I think they had less than that Saturday. They wanted to condense the game. But Texas only had, 3 third and long? So they didn't really have pass rush opportunity in that game. And I do think that will change as the season moves along, because I do think I don't know how many teams could take what Ohio State's game plan was and actually execute it against Texas. That's the thing I'm looking for. Maybe Florida, maybe at Georgia. We'll see.
Maybe Georgia.
But I'm not sure who else can actually execute a game plan like that against Texas.
Rod, I got to ask you a question. I want to ask Rod a question real quick. Texas scored 7 points against an Ohio State defense that's supposed to be should be pretty good this year.
Mm-hmm.
And Arch Manning did not have a great game, in my opinion, at all. Doesn't mean I don't love him. And I think I'm still buying Arch Manning stock, just so everybody understands. But he played poorly yesterday. Let me ask you this. How do you square Texas scoring 7 points against Ohio State and Clemson, with everybody they have coming back, only scoring 10 against LSU?
Execution, right? Early in the season.
Yeah.
It can be a big part of it. And whether you're talking about technique or fundamentals or mechanics individually for a player, or you talk about the execution as a whole, as a unit. Offense is about timing, precision, execution, everybody being on the same page. It takes reps to get that going, especially the chemistry between a quarterback and wide receiver, as Texas kind of saw. That is not easy. It doesn't grow overnight, right? That's something that you got to work at, and Texas needs to get better at that too. A lot of that is on Arch. But yeah, I think it's just because offense has always been about precision, timing. It's been about continuity, and those are not things that you have early on the season. Now, the Clemson thing is crazy because that's a lot of guys coming back, like that. Okay, and the receivers. So I'm with you on that is for Clemson fans. That's got to be very, very disappointing. Yeah, Longhorn fans are disappointed because they got hyped up with the Arch Manning stuff. But I do think at times, man, when you're going up against a really good athletic defense, and that's what LSU gonna always have, because whether it's a defense that is well disciplined or whether a defense that's well structured, different conversation. But they got athletes. Same thing with Ohio State. They got athletes. Turns out Ohio State not only got athletes, but Matt Patricia had them ready to go. Ooh, Matt Patricia had them ready to go.
and the thing that got me a little bit was there were now other than the first play, which should have been an easy completion for Arch, was that's a cut play. In that roll right, waggle right,
he's broke it out like 3 or 4 times when he. Right.
There was not a lot of scheming for just simple completions to get your feet under you against a really good team on the road. That confused me a little bit with the game plan. I'll be real Saturday. It's like, all right, we're ready to go, man. We got our guy, and we're gonna turn him loose in a way against Patricia and Ohio State. There weren't enough, to me, just like easy pitching catches to let him get his feet. You see, even what LSU did that with Nussmeier last night. For those that didn't watch that game, by the way, Clemson's best receiver went out in the first quarter, the hammy. He didn't play, for one. But 2, Dabo's lack of going to the portal. They had a former wide receiver starting at running back. Again, the portal thing with Dabo. I know he's trying now, but the game plan for me, that was the first time a quarterback, I don't care whose name it is, starting on the road against a really good team in a tough environment. There weren't any easy throws.
No, I agree with Jerry. And I have thought about this, right? And I've thought about, all right, how much am I going to blame Sark here? I give Sark a lot of credit for being one of the most, basically most innovative, creative offensive minds in football, college or pro. And he knows Arch really well. Arch has been there for 2 years. He knows Arch really well. And one of the things that stood out to me, I talked to Bobby about this. I remember him saying in one of the off-season interviews, and I believe it was with Greg Becker, where he said, well, we got to work on Arch in some of the nuances of the offense. Some of the, some of the more high percentage throws, the quick throws, the easy throws is kind of, I think, what he was talking about there. And I think it's possible that, and I said this in offseason, that Arch actually struggles with some of those quick throws at times, the RPO throws, the feathering and layering some of those quick throws, being able to, put a touch on some of those throws too. And maybe that's why Sark didn't put him in there, because we clearly knew that when Quinn was going to get in a rhythm, and you want to get Quinn in a rhythm, you want to get Quinn in the groove, get him confident. We knew how Sark was going to handle that. RPO throws, quick throws, swing screens, swing routes, easy completions, like you're talking about, Jerry, to get him confident. And then we'll start taking some intermediate shots and some shots over the top. I don't know. For some reason, I'm thinking that that's got to be a justification as to why Sark wouldn't do that with this quarterback. Bobby, you read me a great tweet from Kurt Warner, Hall of Fame quarterback, saying the same thing. He's like, nah, man, easy completions, baby. It's like basketball. I want layups and I want easy shots. And then I get confident. Then we'll start taking some of those lower percentage shots. And Sark talks about this in coaching clinics. He literally said he calls them opportunity throws, opportunities for an easy completion. He talks about that is baked into his offense. What happened? What happened?
They weren't there. They weren't there, and that's what I was getting at a little bit. You're asking your first-year guy. I think it was, who was it that did the numbers on this? But Texas, I think, only had 3 of those all game. No, two. It was you, Rod.
They had 4 screens all game. 1, I believe, in the first half, and then the rest of them came in the second half when he made his adjustments. It was like, but in the Bama game plan and in the Michigan game plan, you had screens in the first 5 plays of the game.
Yeah. This is the quote here. This is from Kurt Warner, Hall of Fame quarterback. Just went and watched the tape of Texas OSU, and what jumped out more than anything was the type of passes each of the coaches dialed up to their first-time starters. Sayan was dealt primarily quick game, 5 12-yard quick routes, while Manning was dealt a bunch of stuff down the field. I'm an ongoing advocate for quick game. It should be thrown 10 times a game, and every team should have a solid package of it. I played a lot of football, and there was nothing better than quick game drive starters to get me into a rhythm. Coaches, please develop your quick game and call it for your QB. This is something that I will say this, that bothered me a little bit on that last drive. I would have liked to seen them throw it to the running backs a little bit. When you're on they were on the 40. Is that right? The plus 40?
Yeah.
You get your running backs to start whittling down that deal, and it doesn't end up 4th and 6. Mm-hmm. It's 4th and 1 or 2. That's my opinion. Now, the play he dialed up for Ryan Wingo, the crosser, look, he may hit his head on the goalpost if he can make Caleb Downs miss in the open field.
Well, and then that's the important part to this, that I just want the chat to make sure. I said it, Arch missed easy throws, a lot of easy throws in that game, especially the first throw should have been his bread and butter. That was a bad throw. The Edge actually did a good job on that play, but that should still be a completed ball. But the throws after that, he missed too many easy throws. The 33 in the red zone on the crosser to Wingo, that's a miss you just can't have and win a football game against a good team on the road. Bottom line. Remember that play? Then the 4th down play was caught but out of bounds, or just maybe missed. But there were just too many. If you're going to be a high-level quarterback in a high-level game, you can't miss those throws, bottom line. Now, that has nothing to do with how the game started. I just want to make sure people know we're talking about 2 different things here.
Yeah. I think that my point earlier is Arch had a bad game. Period. End of story. Poor throws, hit people. Throwing at guys' feet, throwing the ball 100 miles an hour, throwing off. You can try to put lipstick on a pig, but that was a pig. Now, there were elements of the game that showed what he can be. The throw to Jack Indries was beautiful.
Ooh, that was.
It was just gorgeous. Mm-hmm. I thought the touchdown throw to Parker Livingston was perfect.
Yep.
Gave his receiver a chance. But there were too few of those, right? I even thought he started checking down well at times to Cedric Baxter. And then when Cedric Baxter went out of the game because he was on a little bit of a pitch count, it looked like, he stopped going to the backside of the backfield a little bit. And so there were a lot of ifs and whats, and like I said, I'm still buying Arch Manning stock. If y'all want to sell it, I'm buying, because I think he's got a lot of ability, and I think that he will grow from this. Like, I'm not concerned that he's going to play jittery the next 10 games or anything like that. That I thought he had the yips a little bit to start the game for whatever reason.
Yep.
And he got feeling it a little bit in the fourth quarter when Sark kind of opened it up. But overall, his performance yesterday was whack.
And here's the tough thing, and it's the same deal if you start missing shots. When you start missing shots, you start missing throws, you start to get a little tighter. And the tighter you get, the more inaccurate you're going to get. And that's just how this, but I want to answer this question. Retired working man. I've seen Arch a lot over the years. Did you see how he kept moving both his arms on the side? He's always done that. He does this back in high school.
Yeah, he does that a lot. I've noticed that.
So, I know people are like, was he hurt? He was doing that in first time I ever saw him at Isidore Newman.
Yeah, I know that's the new thing, though, because I saw online whether is Arch hurt thing come up and people were discussing it. I just don't think Sark's going to run him on design runs in the red zone if he is dealing with an injury. Let's just say hypothetically, because I've seen this online of people talking about it, that his throwing motion and he was off balance and he wasn't stepping into throws, and maybe he's hurt or whatever. But I just don't think Sark would run him on design.
No doubt.
If he had injury or something. So that's why I doubt that theory. But like I said, I know it's out there. I've seen it. All right, let's thank our sponsor, then we'll jump right into the super chats. I know you guys want to get into some of your questions and comments, so we'll do that. But let's thank our friends over at Rogue Shop. Thank you very much, Matt. Thank our friends over at Rogue Shop before we move on here. RogueShop.com. Really appreciate them being a part of the On Texas football family. They ship their fantastic products nationwide, so no matter where you are in this great country of ours, our friends at Rogue Shop can get their products to you. They have it all from oils and creams to flour and gummies, and also they can give you a very special discount if you use that discount code that you see right there on your screen. On Texas, you can get a very special discount from our friends over at Rogue Shop. So if you're dealing with anxiety, sleep deprivation, aches and pains from battling Father Time, or simply from your playing days like me, our friends at Rogue Shop have so many different items, a variety of different items that can help you battle those ailments. So check them out at RogueShop.com. We really appreciate them and their ongoing support of On Texas football. All right, let's dive right into the super chats, guys, because we got a bunch of them. Let's do it. Juan, thank you for the super chat. We really appreciate it. Says, do you all think if this game was the second game of the season, Arch would have played better? How would Quinn have done in this game? Juan, I'm glad you put it like that, because I have said before, if you are ranking Quinn Ewer's best games at Texas, those big powerhouse non-conference games at the early part of the season, both Bama games, even the one he got hurt in 2022 before he got hurt, and that Michigan game, honestly, those games might all be in his top five. Like, those were like his best games because he was so well prepared. And I assumed that would be the case with Arch, because Arch had said 2 years. I was like, he's going to be well prepared. And some of Sark's best scripts and game plans have also been in those games. And I'll admit I was flabbergasted, because that was not the case, gentlemen. Arch was not well prepared, and Sark was underwhelming, to say the least, in his game plan against Ohio State. So.
Yeah, it's these are always interesting discussions, because if Quinn's first road start ever at Texas would have been at Ohio State, would he have performed like he did as a second and third year starting quarterback at Alabama or at home against Bama? Probably not. I mean, that's just there's something that goes with that too. But if this was the second game of the season, I don't know if it really would have been any different, because if you played San Jose State, yes, you would have had a start under your belt, but what would have happened? You'd have won 55-7. You'd have thrown for 350 yards and 5 touchdowns. Because I got news for San Jose State. Sark's taking it out on you Saturday. So be ready. And so what would the hype would have been even more so if you'd had a San Jose State game and he'd thrown for 350 and 5 touchdowns going into it. It might have been even worse for Arch in a way.
I agree. I was just talking to a former Texas player before we went on air, and he said, "Take the over." He said, or take the points, whatever.
Yeah.
He goes, "I don't even know what they are, but take them."
Yeah.
Sark's coming for blood.
And I watched some of San Jose State and Central Michigan, and they're going to take it. They are not going to be able to stop Counter and Power, because Central Michigan ran it on their arse up the middle.
I will say this, though, too. I just think, Longhorn fans aren't, and I do think they are, but we aren't giving enough credit to Matt Patricia and Ohio State's defense. Even Sark said, I think the quote from Sark is, quote, "I think that they have a very good secondary, and I thought their ability to disguise coverages in the first half was at an elite level. I think that starts with Caleb Downs. He's very savvy. He's very smart. They're able to hold coverages, and whether it was a 2-deep shell rolling into 1 high or 1 high playing 2 deep, the variations of cover 2 they played against us, they minimized the explosive plays. They essentially confused and almost, discombobulated a young Arch, man. He didn't know what he was seeing. The pre-snap never matched the post-snap. And you got to give Matt Patricia credit for that. And I never thought about it. And I was talking to a friend of mine after the game. They were like, yes, Matt Patricia's game plan against an inexperienced quarterback kind of reminded them of those Belichick game plans against rookie quarterbacks. And famously, Belichick's record against rookies is like 22-6. Like, rookie quarterbacks never had success against Belichick unless they're just like all-time greats, like Big Ben and, Russell Wilson, those kind of guys. And that's what it was. It was never letting the pre-snap match the post-snap. And they did that with the front a lot of the times, and they did it with the coverages in the secondary. And you got to give Matt Patricia a ton of credit. That's something. That's kind of a game. I'll say it now, guys, honestly, as a guy who watches film, there is a template being developed about how to defend Sark if you got the talent. But you got to have the talent. So you can't do it if you're Kentucky or somebody like that. You got to be Georgia. You got to be Ohio State. But if you are one of those elite teams that has that kind of talent, there is a game plan. There is a template out there, and disguising coverages, pre and post snap differences, making sure you're different pre and post snap is a big part of it. That's definitely one of the main items. Thank you, Juan, for the super chat. Next one is from JP. JP, I see you with a couple here, but it says, why did Arch mechanics look so off? Maybe hurt?
Jerry, let's name this rumor, if y'all don't mind. There's some people out there saying that, there was a rumor on social media that Arch's shoulder was hurt. We have not heard that and had not heard that going into this game. I don't know that that's to be the case. And his very first throw of the game was off. He short hopped a receiver on a waggle, right? And so I don't think Sark would play him with an injured shoulder.
And back to Rod's point, he's not running him.
Yeah.
If he's got a hurt shoulder. There's nothing to this. He hadn't been hurt. What, did he fall out of his Escalade? He hadn't been hit in months. I mean, like, he would not have run him. On the mechanics, what was interesting to me, and I don't make a lot. Look, Arch has always had that, the 3/4-ish right here delivery, and I actually love it. I actually love it. Now, some of the stuff, if you get flat-footed and play on your heels, you're going to be an inaccurate player, period, right? And I'm not trying to be David Morris of QB country here. I'm trying to answer a question. His arm action, I think, is really good long-term for a quarterback. I love it. Just go look at a lot of the quarterbacks. Not everybody is over the top like Tom Brady is. Actually, few very are. They're all closer to Arch than they are closer to Tom Brady. I just think the feet. or the issue, Rod, for him more than anything?
This is where it all started. From what I traced back, this is kind of where I first saw it on social media. And I think this guy's like a draft analyst. So this is kind of where I think this is where I first saw it. And then people started commenting on it and that kind of thing. And that's kind of where it grew. So if you want to know where it started, it was this guy, Kurt Benkert. I follow him, but I don't know where he got that from, but he threw it out there first. That's where it came from.
Beware of guys saying, experts saying the word clearly, because that means that's a supposition. That's not knowledge.
Yeah.
Y'all get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's clearly that. Well, that means you don't really know. You're surmising. Otherwise, you'd say he has a hurt shoulder, not he clearly has a hurt shoulder.
Yeah. They're like, can't y'all see it? Y'all don't see that? Y'all see that?
What? Yeah, exactly.
So Sooner Cowboys been asking, what if it's because of San Jose's thing? What if it's a close game in the fourth? How do you feel? What if you're not as good as you think after Illinois State and that offensive line has issues if we're playing that game? All right, keep going.
The what if game. If buts was candies and nuts. All right, Todd here with the super chat. Thank you, Todd. Says plenty of positives. You're damn right, Todd. We appreciate the super chat and the optimism. Says Livingstone, Stroll, Littleton, etc. Thoughts. Yeah, Grayson Littleton. I believe he had the highest Pro Football Focus score grade of any of the Texas defenders. He's fit. I mean, like I said, I remember talking to Coach McKinnon and asking him, is this real that this guy could end up, getting significant playing time or starting at star versus Ohio State? He said, yeah, he's that good. We talked about him all off season training camp that they said he was the real deal.
And boy, was it.
And I told you guys they was going to test him if he was out there. They found him. They were like, oh, yeah, there you go. That was an alert on the headphones. Hey, guys, the freshman's out there, star. He's out there, star. Let's go. And they went after him, and he, was more than up to the task.
Yeah.
And he showcased that in those two plays I saw great football IQ. Go watch his leverage. He knows where his help is. All right. A lot of DBs, they simply don't even know where their help is. And like, do we know where your help is? All right. He knew where his help was both times. Go look at his leverage. He's outside leverage. Go look at the makeup speed on the first one against Jeremiah Smith, because he thinks he's got Jelani McDonald as like an inside hole player. But Jelani, like, I don't know, something happens. He like falls down. And during the play, you can see him actually look and see McDonald fall down and go, oh, ish, I better get on this upfield shoulder. Because if I don't, then this guy, any good throw is going to be a completion. And he, I got to tell you, sinks his hips. He's definitely out of position and is able to recover and get back on the upfield shoulder to make the play. That was, man, that might be on his draft tape whenever it happened. And that was his true freshman year. And then give Bobby some credit, because Bobby said, from what he hears, a young man defends what is maybe the toughest route to defend in the secondary these days, the slot fade. And they broke it out on him, and he had a plan. What I would say, have a plan, guys, a panic plan.
Yeah.
He was playing the hands. He was great leverage, so he ended up being on the hip of the receiver, but he was out of phase, so he couldn't look back and play the ball. But he didn't panic. Just played the hands, shot the hands, broke up the pass. Yes, that was a penalty on that play, but that young man is special, guys. He's special.
By the way, who doesn't have to worry about their quarterback? CJ Carr just made a great play for a first-time starter against Miami. They just scored. Notre Dame has a quarterback the next 3 years. Marcus Freeman's going to be a problem. And Miami's offensive line is really damn good, and Reuben Bain's really good, but CJ Carr's going to be a good player now.
That's scary.
Good. Maybe he can beat the Aggies next weekend or week after.
A&M's in trouble. Hey, somebody asked about that earlier. We got to address some of this stuff too. Look, UTSA is not the same UTSA that came to Austin 3 years ago, because those jobs are tougher than ever. Like, Jeff Traylor's a hell of a coach. He's got a really good staff. But A&M's lack of run defense. Bobby, I don't know if you saw it or if you were traveling.
I was traveling.
Yeah. Look, they look like booty in run defense.
That running back is pretty good, though, from UTSA.
He is. No, he is. But then the other thing for A&M, the other thing I'd be a little concerned about if I'm A&M, they didn't start running the ball and really having success against UTSA until the stud edge and best D tackle left the game injured. After those guys left the game injured, that's when A&M really started moving the ball how they wanted to against UTSA. And it always happens when those teams get tired, right? It's not the same UTSA. Those jobs are tough now. You don't have the talent. It gets ripped from you, like one that was playing in Columbus for Texas the other day, Saturday. But A&M's run defense, that's going to be interesting because they're going to play people who can run the football. And I'm watching one of them right now out of the corner of my eye.
Scott with a super chat. Thank you, Scott. We appreciate you very much. Says, did you guys hear anything behind the scenes that Arch would play the way he did?
Nobody could ever anticipate that, right, Bobby? That a quarterback that's been in a program for 2+ years would just miss all the easy passes, and that's really hard. And now that's a tough look. Arch is unlike any quarterback I've ever covered because there's no way he can actually live up to the expectations of the hype, and he's going to be built up and torn down continuously through his college and after college career. He was in high school his senior year. I've never seen anybody like this in high school recruiting carrying into college this level. So he's got a lot more pressure on him than ever. But I definitely don't think Sark thought that was happening from the play calls, guys.
Yeah, I mean, he did not have a great first scrimmage this fall. But we were told he had a great practice on Tuesday or Wednesday of last week. I did not. So, Scott, I did not hear anything behind the scenes that Arch would play this way. No, I'll just be blunt about it. At the same time, am I worried about how he performed? Not really. If he's this way when they go to Gainesville, then we'll talk about it. If he's this way when they play in the Cotton Bowl against OU the week after that. But right now, I think he needs to use these next 3 weeks to get his game speed down, understand when he needs to whistle the ball in there and when he needs to feather it. He needs to get some game speed behind him. That's really what I felt like he was missing as much as anything on Saturday. I felt like for whatever reason, the game wasn't too fast for him. Sometimes he was too fast for the game.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
You know what I mean by that? Like he just didn't have
he rushed. He felt like he was.
Yeah, he felt rushed. So he's rushing things, and then he was too late on things. That interception was a late throw.
No rhythm.
He needs to find his rhythm. I think that's my piece on it.
No, I love that, Bob, because I felt like that on those crossing routes.
Yeah,
where he has time, and it's like you got time, and yet he feel like he would slay. He feel like he would throw the ball with urgency. And I'm like, no, just step into it and deliver the football, with some anticipation. And I don't know, I didn't recognize that Arch from the games that he started last season. I think a lot of people felt that way. Like, I don't recognize that guy.
Jerry said it best. I mean, right after the game, even it was like, you got to make the easy throws.
Yeah. That
was an easy throw.
Yeah.
Theoretically. It's not an easy throw when you're throwing it sidearm, leaning back. I think he didn't see that route developing all the way.
Mm-hmm.
And so he reacted to it instead of thinking about it beforehand.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
And, a lot of that may be the pre-snap not matching your post-snap.
Yep.
So you hurried because pre-snap gets you like, oh, this is going to be open. I see it right now. And then when the pre-snap matches the post-snap, you go, oh, with confidence. I knew it was going to be open, and you can throw it with confidence. You step into it. It's almost like something that he didn't trust the pre-snap because the post-snap, it didn't match all game long. So he was always rushed. He was like, oh, I see it. I got to get it. So I kind of understand that a little bit, but that's also a much bigger issue.
I'm going to bring this up real quick because it's interesting. Tennessee Longhorn, and I'm not trying to be a butt when I answer this. We're the truly special players on offense since Bijan left.
Oh man,
there's been a Lombardi and Outland winner at left tackle, 2 first rounders at wideout, and the second rounder at wideout. Who would have been a first rounder if he didn't get trashed 2 weeks before the draft. I mean, I don't know, I'm not sure what special is, but I mean they've had 4 first round level players on offense.
Jonathan Brooks was the first running back taken.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
as well. I mean, don't forget about him. They've had. I do think that they lack, as of right now, touchdown scorers on this team. That's what they lost in Matthew Golden and Jaden Blue. Who's going to step into those roles and be touchdown scorers? Parker Livingstone made a hell of a play, guys.
He did. That was a great play.
By the way, he's the only one that had a chance to make a play.
That is true. Chance. I agree with that. But he fought through hands to get that in a one-on-one situation. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, Texas needs to identify a touchdown scorer. They just do.
Well, I think the quarterback has to be a touchdown.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I mean, like, look, I'll say this though. I'll say this: if you watched did everybody watch LSU Clemson last night?
I watched most.
I'll say this for LSU: you love or hate Brian Kelly, 90% of people hate him. Their two little wide receivers are jets.
Yeah.
Aiden Durham is a jet.
The running back.
Those guys have real freaking speed at the skill positions at LSU this year. So I will say that. I mean, it's like if you look around and we're just real about this stuff, Anderson at LSU, the kid who transferred, the second-year guy from Mississippi State, is a jet. And Caden Durham is a running back jet with power. And Harlan Berry will get mixed in here in the next few weeks. The LSU has a lot of freaking jets out there in their skill position. They looked faster at the skill positions to me.
I think the young
now Ohio State's secondary is really good.
They really are.
But Avion Terrell was good last night. Clemson has good players, not Ohio State level, but LSU's dudes were fast on that field last night. Fast.
That was the most impressive part of that game to me. Ohio State's defensive backs.
Yeah. And Matthews was fantastic. In addition to Caleb Downs, he was great. I mean,
it wasn't the Ohio State wide receiver.
But Bobby, not just the secondary, the linebackers.
The linebackers were really
linebackers.
Arvell Reese is really
Ohio State. Arvell Reese is an NFL player.
Yeah, he's really good.
Him and Sonny Styles. I think the back seven for Ohio State to me.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, that's the thing that we talked about this going into the game. Ohio State hadn't recruited outside a top 5 class in a decade, unless they signed 18, 19 guys. Texas and Ohio State are two of the most 5 talented rosters in college football this year. And nothing's changed my opinion on that. Like, I think they're two of the most 5 talented rosters. And Ohio State is going to be one of the 5 most talented rosters in college football as long as they hire the right coach. So the only way they can screw it up is not having the right guy.
Yeah. If you ask Jim Harbaugh, even the wrong guy can win it for Ohio State. He's born on third base. All right. Cade here with a super chat. Cade Stewart here says, good run game. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, Cade. Good run game, pass protection, overall defense, and punter. Bad pass rush on sand. Penalties. Ugly. Arch trying to do too much. Had open guys a few times. Needs to use legs more. Texas will be better team at Florida. Cade, good breakdown there. Appreciate the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I agree with you. Matter of fact, Sark agrees with you too. So even Sark said he's got to get Arch moving and use his legs earlier because he thinks that'll help him kind of get in the groove and get in the rhythm. I think they tried that. They tried the bootleg and the waggle early on. So I think Sark knows that. But so to your point, they got to use his legs earlier on maybe even design concepts as opposed to him scrambling. I think he had a 15-yard scramble earlier. But what do you guys' thoughts about Cade's good, bad, and ugly list here?
I love the ugly. That sounds bad, doesn't it? Arch trying to do too much. Is that the definition of what we've been dancing around?
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Or
I'm
is
in a combo of two things. Okay,
what is that, Jerry?
Arch feeling the pressure of trying to do too much, and Sark did not help him with easy, simple throws to Kurt Warner's. I think it's a combo of both of those.
Yeah. I'm open for that. I'm open to that. I do think I would like to, we've talked a lot about the run game protection. Pass game for Texas is pretty darn good too.
Yeah.
He had time. Yep.
He had time. It wasn't They were not overwhelmed by the front four. Now, Ohio State did not bring 6 very often, if ever, the whole game. Maybe 5, like 3 times, 4 times. But, that Jerry, that's why I was saying Ohio State was playing back. They were seeding some of the run game stuff. I really felt like that. And, I think Texas would be able to run the ball against good teams this year, because last year they couldn't do that against Ohio State.
Yeah.
When they even attempted to play coverage in the back end.
Yeah. And look, let's see if there's a silver lining for the season that comes out of this game. By the way, on the ugly, it's always going to be the red zone until it's not. That should always lead the ugly. Because Texas was 0 for 2. And they lost the game by 14-7.
Again.
The red zone always has to lead your ugly until it's not.
But that's going to be the case for the last 3 years, Jerry.
Yeah, if there's a silver lining that comes out of this game, even though Ohio State didn't overload the box, Texas still beat Ohio State's men in the run game. So is that going to force teams to load the box, and how will that help Arch and Sark?
It only will if they can convert in the red zone.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's Rod's
recipe, right? The recipe is against Sark, just bend, but don't break. When you get to the red zone, that's when you throw all your exotics and stuff out there, because that's when Texas that's when they're at their weakest, and then you can be at your strongest. So I think that's part of if I'm playing Texas, I'm like, don't worry, gentlemen. We get in the red zone. That's when we're going to buckle down, because that's when Texas, they have no identity. They lose their identity in the red zone, to Bobby's point. That's part of the formula. Now the formula is out there, guys. We got enough of a sample size now to go, well, Texas just isn't great in the red zone, period. No matter how good the talent is, it's not the sum of its parts when it comes to the red zone for Texas. And I don't know what that's one of the biggest mysteries right now I think for Longhorn fans about this regime. Like, how in the hell has Texas struggled this bad in the red zone?
I thought they were in on something. That third down run before the fourth and goal.
Oh,
Cedric Baxter, that was a hell of a run.
That was a hell of a run.
Yeah, that was because he could have been stopped for no gain, but he ended up getting 2.5 yards.
Right.
And so I was like, oh wow, maybe this is it. And then they went with the sneak. So maybe in Sark's defense, he said if he had to do it all over again, he would change things. But maybe Baxter will actually be that answer.
Could be.
Yeah.
He's powerful enough.
Y'all just missed the college football catch of the year has already been decided on the first weekend. The catch the Miami guy just made in between the corner and safety for a touchdown, that's going to win an SB. It's already over. Good luck to every other receiver this year.
You're gonna have people running to go look at it.
No, this was. Remember when Grant Hill caught the alley-oop back here at the top of the square when he had no business catching it and dunked it on Kansas? That's what just happened on a football field in double coverage.
Wow. All right. I got to see it. I'm going to look for it on my timeline right here quick. All right, let's check it out. Super chat. Katie35, I'm the best. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it. It says, what bothers me, we know what kind of playmaker Weiser is. Why the heck was he not used at all in the first half? Also, Jerry, what you hearing on the recruits that were watching the game from both teams' views? Ooh, that's good. I like that. Thank you, Katie35, I'm the best.
Recruiting wise, and I haven't heard anything. Recruiting's so transactional nowadays. I mean, it's like, I'm not sure how much this stuff truly matters. I am going to be on the road after this week. I'll be out on the road, and I'm going to be out and about in the old vehicle, and we'll see what kids have to say.
Yeah, the Weiser thing, Jerry and Rod, he started, so he did see action. It almost felt to me that their game plan was a little bit to lean on him early with Cedric Baxter, and maybe it might open up some bigger holes later with Weiser being a little quicker. That's what it felt like the original game plan was. And when it didn't coalesce into something, that looked great, they went back to Weiser. Weiser, ended up leading the team in rushing. So he played quite a bit. And I thought he looked good. Trey's. Could you not tell he's added some weight?
Yeah,
guys.
Yep. Yeah. He kept his speed. He kept his quickness too.
Yeah. So, Keep that in mind. That's a good sign going forward. I think that's a really good sign going forward.
Yeah, no, I actually I'm surprised they didn't, since CJ Baxter looked so good that, a little 21 personnel, a little pony package, just throwing it out there. Thought it might have, juiced the offense a little bit, man. They're great in the pony package, but I'll just move on. I digress. Lee Burke here with a super chat. Lee, I do not see a question attached. So, Lee, if you have one, please, can you kind of repost it, or we'll try to find it for you, Lee. Thank you, though, for the super chat. We appreciate it. Mike, moving on, his super chat says, have you seen the running back yards after contact have to make plays in open space? A lot of meat left on the bone. Oh, I'm about to check that out in terms of yards after contact. I know that was one big run. Both of the running backs had a big run. The CJ Baxter had that big run early on. It was like a
14-yarder. Yep.
And then it was like a 13-yarder on Trey Wise. I want to say it was a zone play that he basically just decided it was there was no hole open, and he decided to backtrack, and then I ended up, I think, breaking it to the outside for about 13 yards. Maybe a little.
Trey has great backside vision. Not good. Great backside vision.
Yeah.
With Baxter, that long run, that was maybe the only time when I didn't see the explosiveness out of a cut that it worried me a little bit, because it looked like, that didn't look like the old Cedric Baxter. And if he would have had a true cut on that, I think he would have been on top of that safety. And then it would have been a lot of meat left on the bone after, because it would have come at that safety a little bit differently. But I thought the running game, they looked good. I thought Baxter maximized yardage, except for that one run where he lacked a little explosiveness coming out of it.
I would say, according to Pro Football Focus, they have Trey Wisner 47 of his 80 yards coming after contact, and CJ Baxter, according to Pro Football Focus, 32 of his 40 yards coming after contact. So
that's quite a bit.
As I said, that's a pretty good number.
Those guys are Rod. It's like you said, the linebacker play for Ohio State was stellar. I mean, the Texas backs were getting hit. They were getting hit. I mean, but I have good news for people that want the yards after contact. San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston State are on
Seriously, yeah, those are stat patterns. We pad the stats in them games, baby. That's
they better, or else there is a real issue.
It is. That's true.
I'm just telling you.
No, you're right. You can't do it against that. If Art struggles in either one of those games, we'll have a different discussion here. All right.
There'll be. I mean, yes, that's going to be the expectation too.
But the crazy thing is, it could happen, because remember, Quinn struggled in a couple of these. Remember that was at a Wyoming game that Quinn struggled in, but he was great.
After Bama.
Yeah, so it could happen.
In the lead up to the Bama game, it was Louisiana Monroe one year too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. I really threw that pick. So I'm just saying, it in those games, you could start slow, that kind of thing. So let's keep some perspective. KD35, I'm the best. Another super chat. Thank you. We appreciate you very much. Says, after watching the game again, guys, we saw Littleton and Jackson play. What other true freshmen played in that game? They got key snaps. I didn't notice 30 guys.
Justice Terry had 3 snaps.
Nick Townsend had it.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good one.
Cade Phillips played.
I don't know. They were on specials, right? But Townsend was in the game.
Townsend played in one snap. I saw that because they had he read in motion, and they basically used him as like the splice block.
Yeah,
that's the formation. It was kind of cool. I like that concept actually. No, but that's right.
5 or 6 guys.
Lance Jackson and Grayson Lewis and Lance Jackson played early. Like, I remember seeing them and like, what? I was like, who is that in there early? And I want to say like maybe 4th drive we saw Lance Jack, 3rd or 4th drive.
Galen McCutcheon had a catch.
That's right. Hey,
and that was early too. That was early.
I got Lance Jackson with 7 plays. Listen to this. You want to know why Grayson Littleton was so highly rated, Rod and Jerry?
Mm-hmm.
You know how many plays he actually played in out of the 51 snaps?
Oh, let me guess. Hold up, because he didn't. Let me say. I'm going to go with 10.
He played 19 plays.
Damn. Played more than I thought.
Double. And he had two passes defended in 19 plays.
Okay. He played
His
way
impact
more
rating is pretty high. That's
he
why.
Played basically close to, I mean, I didn't know he played that much then.
Yeah, 19 plays.
Okay. Oh, that's good. That's a good. I mean, and we talked about the guys who are playing in that game, true freshmen. I mean, the coaches expect those guys to become regular contributors, at least by the end of the season.
Justice Terry, to your point, Lance Jackson played some in the first half. All of Justice Terry's snaps came in the second half.
Oh, okay.
So I think there were 26 players that played on defense that caught a defensive snap. I could be off on that, but that's
I think it's 20. It was 23 because 3 of them were. I counted that earlier. 23, and 3 of them were special teams, Jerry. But they're listed as defenders.
So they played 23 players on defense.
That's what I think. I think I counted that right, Jerry, because I went over twice.
I bet you
earlier
right.
today on that.
Yeah. I bet you're right about that. Marcus Myers, not a true freshman, but I saw a good bit of Phil Simi. Yeah, Phil Simi more than I expected.
Yep.
Yeah, so Sark said he had, 16 starters he believed on defense. He might have more than that when it's all said and done. Now that we know Grayson Littleton is as good as he is and some of those guys.
We need to address this. Spence didn't do much off the edge. He only played 5 snaps because Texas was in the bigger package in this game.
They forced Texas into 40 personnel with 12 personnel. I kept telling y'all, I was like, why would you let Texas put all their speed out there? That's exactly what they did. They neutralized the edges with an extra tight end, gave themselves an extra gap, another hat in the run game.
They didn't want Sand dealing with all that edge pressure.
It's exactly right. Yep. It did. It actually worked for them, and they didn't really get any big gains. But I want to say their second, third, fourth, and fifth longest completions all came in 12 personnel. They was working it. All right, let's get back to the super chats. Justin with a super chat here says, according to Austin Brooks, in all Arch's starts, the first play Arch was in the UTSA game was the same play, same concept. Thoughts on that? And I'm all for more RPOs and wide receiver screens. Thank you for the super chat.
We miss on predictions. We predicted that one. That was the first play was going to be a Arch Manning waggle right. That's the first play when he came in against UTSA. That's been the first play 4 times. Colorado
State, I think, when he came in, that was the play. Yeah. But I wouldn't say he completed them in the other ones.
He did. He didn't short hop them.
This was the first one that looked like Reggie McNeil on the move.
Yeah, that's the mystery, guys. Is that you knew Sark put that play in? He's like, this is your money play. Yeah. Every time you go in, you complete it. We all know you got options. You can run, you can throw it. It's layered, boom. And he threw it. He threw it too late. He probably threw it a little bit early because that guy was wide open. And then he waited for the defensive, the edge guy to get in his face, and then he shot.
That's right. Yeah, the edge guy those edges played really well.
They did play well.
In the good football players.
Texas.
They did. Yeah.
They are not great pass rushers, though.
No, but they're sound football players, aren't they?
Yeah. Just like Jack Sawyer was the same. I mean, Jack Sawyer got after the pass rush a lot in the national semifinal, but he wasn't a pass rusher first. They play a lot of strong side edge play in the Big Ten. I mean, they just do historically.
Yeah. No, good stuff there. All right, Mario here. Mario, thank you for the super chat. He says, next 3 games will be perfect team chemistry building stretch. Will I see y'all September 13th? He said 5-star QB comes to duel against the Longhorns. Oh, man.
Is that Malachi Nelson? Is that the former QB who's now the guy at UTEP? Yeah. Absolutely. If you come by the
tailgate
if you don't mind, Mario. Love to see you.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, it should be a pad. You should be padding your stats, all the execution issues you had, the penalties. This 3-game stretch should be building confidence for this team. So yeah, like I said, if they struggle in these games with some of those same issues, red zone in these games, then maybe it's something systemic that we're going to be dealing with all season long. I hope that is not the case. I'm hoping that was a bit of an outlier with some of those issues versus Ohio State, and that was a really good team on the road. All right, Nick here with a super chat. Thank you, Nick. Says the loss is karma for Bobby having Abbott on OTL. I will say that, yeah, I mean, and we can talk about political opinions here, but I will say there are some politicians who are notoriously bad luck for sports teams, and I won't get into who that is. And
Abbott had been undefeated.
Abbott had been undefeated. Ted Cruz is not.
Ted Cruz is a terrible one. I didn't want to get into names, but He's cursed. Don't have Ted Cruz around. That's the one Bobby, you do that, we're going to have to talk. Because it ain't about politics at all. I don't give a damn about politics. I'm talking about the track record for my teams.
If Ted Cruz shows up at an Astros game, I just give up.
Exactly. It's like Drake back in the day. You know what I mean? Like if Drake started rooting for your team, you're like, damn, I root for my team. It's all over. All right. Jose here with a super chat. Thank you, Jose. Says the doom and gloom after one game is insane. Bama, Clemson, two of the more experienced teams this season, scored 10 and 17. Give it time if you expect the 2019 LSU offense. You played yourself. I like that, Jose. You played yourself.
I want to mention this because I do think while Texas doesn't play them, these are going to be topics. LSU looks really good on defense. He's got parts this year. Like the guys they got out of the portal, for those that didn't miss the game or that didn't see the game, the DB from Virginia Tech was blanketing people last night. Patrick Payton off the edge, the kid Pryburn from Florida, Dominic McKinley's going to end up being an NFL player. The other kid Guillory, but Harold Perkins looked like the Harold Perkins I saw in high school in his freshman year. That dude was flying around the football at a hybrid position because they can now play him to his strengths because they have the parts to run Baker's defense. We'll see if they stay healthy. I'm worried about their depth if I'm LSU fan on defense because I think their frontline guys are really, really good and fit his scheme. But that is a totally different defense than a year ago. Bama, man, that's Kalen DeBoer is pretty ballsy to take that job. And I think Kalen DeBoer is a tremendous football coach. And nothing's going to change my opinion on that. The guy's been a consistent winner everywhere he's ever been. But that is a tough spot because defensively they look bad for the talent level in that game. And
they don't have the same guy. They do not have the dudes on defense they had under Nick Saban. They just don't. No. The cupboard is not. I want to say this: the cupboard is not run dry. They still have guys, but they don't come at you in waves.
Herbie had eaten into that talent level, keeping those kids in Georgia, the difference makers of the world, and it was starting to show defensively for them.
But now it's really apparent. Is my point.
Yeah. And the problem is when you take these jobs, following somebody like that, man, you have to win immediately or the kids start doubting you more so.
Oh, yeah.
Because they never had anything to doubt prior. And they went to that school because they had no doubt. And I think DeBoer's a tremendous coach. Nothing's changed my opinion. For all everybody saying, DeBoer's overrated, he's not a very good coach. That's not a good look for you because he's 2-0 against Sark. So just remember that when you start saying he's not a good coach because he's still 2-0 against your coach. But DeBoer's a really good coach. He was pretty ballsy to take that job. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a battle.
Right.
Oh, so go ahead. That's okay. I was going to say he also got like $10 million in his pocket, so it didn't take. It wouldn't take too many cojones.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't take much convincing. That's all it took. Freelance Society with a super chat here. Thank you, Freelance Society. We appreciate that. Real journalism, damn it. Says, what did you think of the other SEC games that Texas will face? OU, Aggies, Georgia, Florida. Bobby, what are your thoughts?
I did not see them. I was driving yesterday after we finished our post-game stuff. I did see the last two drives of LSU Clemson, but outside of that, I didn't see anything else.
Yeah, Oklahoma, we'll see where their offensive line's at. Jaden Ott did not play.
He had one carry. He had one carry.
Yeah, one carry. We'll see where their offensive line's at.
Georgia's running game looked pretty good.
Illinois State's not a D1 team, so it's hard to even take much. But from that, A&M, we kind of hit on Casey Concepcion returned a punt for a touchdown. Really good. They added speed. Mario Craver can flat out run. They added speed at wide receiver. UTSA, and I think Jeff Traylor's a really good coach, but they don't have the talent they had when he first had a UT. Those jobs are tough now because the best players leave. But A&M is going to have to stop the run. I mean, they gave up what, 170 to UTSA on the ground or more, 203.
That running back might be all right, though. The running back,
He's a good player.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's a good player, and Traylor's a good schemer. They're a good coach, but if UTSA's edge kid Cameron Cooper and their D tackle, their best one, didn't get hurt in that game, I'm not sure that game doesn't go into the fourth quarter because A&M wasn't running the ball with success against them. Georgia played Marshall. I watched a little bit of it. Zach Branch is going to make them look faster on offense for sure. Florida played. I didn't even watch. They played Long Island. I wouldn't even watch Long Island. You play basketball. So I wasn't going to watch it.
All right. Thank you, Freelance Society. We appreciate it. Forrest here with the super chat. Thank you, Forrest. Says my biggest concern with Sark as an OC is that when DCs take away the deep ball, he struggles to find a rhythm calling plays. It's been an area I feel that he hasn't improved since he first started seeing the 3 high defense. Thank you, Forrest. It's a great point. Forrest, I said earlier, I do think now there is a bit of a template on how to defend Sark. I think if you run some 3 high, I think that's a big part of it. Pre-snap disguise, different looks, moving your safeties. Pre-snap and post-snap is a big part of it. Your fronts, changing your fronts is a big part of it too. There's a bit of a recipe. Now, everybody can't execute it because they're not skilled enough. They don't have the players to do it. But the teams that do have those players, the Ohio States of the world, the Georgias of the world, Florida may be in that category too. They can throw some of those very problematic concepts at Sark and take away staples.
So he did improve against the 3 high look. Let's put that out there first of all. Last year and year before last as well, even. So I think there's a little bit of a misnomer, misconception there. I would say this. You're also dealing with a young quarterback right now at Texas. His 3rd start, first one that was against a big-time team. The coach can be a little limited in that regard too, right? And Sark admitted post-game that he needs to work on some things with Arch. And so what I'm saying, Forrest, I agree with you in some ways, but I also think that it takes time in others, right? I mean, you got to wait a little bit. You got to prime the pump. That's just my opinion. Because I do think he's learned how to deal with the 3 high defense. I do think that.
Yeah.
Now, getting your new quarterback to understand that is different than having your guy that saw it 6 times in succession in one season in 2023 deal with it is a little bit different.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, Forrest, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate that. Burt Reynolds Jr. Oh, Burt.
Rod's getting the helmet out.
All right, Burt. Thank you, brother. Thank you for the super chat there. Appreciate it. Says, Bobby, great to see you in enemy territory this weekend. Thank you for treating us to the impromptu dinner at Brewdog. You did not have to do that. Very generous. Appreciate how you engage with us commoners even off the clock. Commoners, you guys are family.
Yeah. Hey, we had it. By the way, thank you to everybody. I know not everybody listening to this obviously didn't come out to the thing on Friday night, but thank you all for those who did. I think we had 300-400 people there overall in Columbus, Ohio. Almost everybody watches this show. It was just a lot of fun. I hope you guys can come out and hang out with us at the tailgate this coming weekend. A lot of fun stuff. And Bert, it was good sharing bread with you and everybody else there that night.
Apologies for the lampshade. I only have that when I'm in the room upstairs. When I'm downstairs, I don't have the lampshade.
No, thank you, Burt Reynolds Jr. That's
it's like Arch. I missed an easy completion.
Come on, man. Enough Arch little shots there. We good.
He'll be back.
All right. Jose here with the super chat. Thank you, Burt Reynolds Jr. That's very kind of you. I'll keep the helmet on for you for a little while longer. Jose says, last thing to get off my chest. Peter Woods and TJ Parker are overrated players. When they play good teams, they're nowhere to be found. Well,
Parker had an impact on that game. Parker made some plays in that game. Peter Woods, look, I mean, those guys they're good players. Are they up to in draft picks? I don't know about that.
See, that's what we said all season, Jerry.
Yeah, the whole
off season we said How can those two guys be top 10 picks when Texas just played them and they were nowhere to be found?
Yeah.
In fact, they didn't.
But I'll say this: Clemson is going to be better on defense because Tom Allen's the DC. They were definitely more physical, sound. I thought tackled better, considering I really like LSU skill guys. Like really like them. But again, it's like, and I'm trying to find the stats. TJ Parker made plays in this game. He had an impact on the game. I'm trying to find the box score from that game. But is Peter Woods isn't Casey Hampton. That's how I judge all these guys, Rod. He ain't Casey Hampton. I don't care where he gets drafted. Casey Hampton had 100 tackles in a college season. He's not that guy. But he's a really talented player.
Yeah. No, trust me, there's some Ohio State fans talking trash about Colin Simmons right now. All right. So that he didn't impact the game as much.
By the way, for those, Peter Woods had 5 tackles in a QB hurry. TJ Parker had 3 tackles, couple of hurries, and a pass breakup. So, I mean, they had an impact on the game, but I don't think they made the big, massive plays. Like Harold Perkins made the plays in that game. He was the guy that was out there just running around with his hair on fire in that game.
Yeah. Jose, thank you for the super chat. Mad Does Things says, can we run in between the tackles with Baxter now? It looked like it to me this past game. They did run a lot of power, a lot of some inside zone. Seems like they were running more gap and power schemes, though, running more downhill stuff to complement and at least be more compatible with Cedric Baxter's strengths as a runner.
I agree with that, and they did run well between the tackles, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Connor Stroh's an interesting addition to this offensive line. I watched in my second watch this morning, Rod and Jerry. I watched him in particular because I just want to see some physical differences, I guess, if that makes sense. And he has a hard time sustaining blocks when people get off of him because he just doesn't have that lateral quickness, maybe. But his initial punch, it was dislodging people. You know what I mean? Where,
guy.
Yeah, because people had to go around, and he's big.
Yeah.
So people had to not only take that, they also had to then get around him. It's going to take the Aaron Donald types, the guys that are quick. The guys that will give him problems, in my opinion, are going to be the 6'1" fire hydrants that are quick as a cat.
Or will you see this? Will you see people start once they get tape on this Texas OL, will you run twists at him? Yeah,
maybe. I mean, they did that. They did that anyways.
Yeah.
But what I would say from a run blocking perspective, his initial punch may have been the best out of everybody's.
Oh, that's good.
Now, the sustaining part of it is a different category.
Mm-hmm.
Cole Hudson did a good job. DJ Campbell did a really, really good job. Trevor Gooseby is talented in that way because he's so agile, I think. And then I think Brandon Baker, guys, I know he had that last play kind of mental, error, but if you're looking for positives out of this game, Texas wasn't just good in the run game; they were good in pass protection.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying Ohio State brought the house, but that if you want to ask me, like, what was the most surprising thing, it may be the offensive line as a whole, maybe the most surprising thing.
And think about that. I mean, 3 guys starting their first career college game.
Yeah.
I mean, Cole Hudson at center.
No, just 2. Yeah.
Well, Cole Hudson at center. To me, that's like almost starting over as an OL.
No, it's crazy. The guys, like the 3 biggest question marks for most Longhorn fans going into the game were O-line, interior D-line, and like that nickel position.
Yes.
And they all were great. Like, I don't think anybody.
They answered the bell.
Yeah. They all rose to the occasion. So that's, I think, our paranoia, it actually didn't really match up to the reality. All right, Jeff here with a super chat. Jeff says, I think these are the most important stats. Texas converted 5 of 13 third down attempts, 1 of 5 on 4th down. Those 4th downs were big. Those are bad. I mean, they felt like turnovers.
And one of those was a red zoner.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They felt like
two of the fourth down
were red zoners. Two of them were red zoners.
They were back-breaking, man.
Hey, I have a question for you. The second time that Sark went for it on fourth down on the first drive. Okay. The first one he went for it on his own 29. Mm-hmm. Or the own 34, whatever it is, just to get a first down, right? Yeah. And it was fourth and short. That I understood that. The second one was like on the plus 40 again.
It was like fourth and 2 or something?
Yeah, something like that. After you saw what Jack Bouwmeester did, if you had to do that all over again, would you have let him punt and try to get it in inside the 5 or 10?
That's a great point.
I mean, Bouwmeester was tremendous.
He's killing it. Yeah, he's killing it. Would he have 3 punts inside the 20?
Yes. No, three punts inside the 10.
He's up inside the 10, yeah.
No, not only that, he had 4 punts, 3 inside the 10, and 3 over 50 yards.
Oh, yeah.
He pulled off the trifecta.
The one that got that was fair caught at the 20 was a 53-yard punt in the air.
Nah, this dude was a beast, man.
Yeah. We could tell. I mean, we all went out there that first day. We said, oh, they got a punter. We were right. That wasn't real hard to tell.
He's a weapon. No, you're right. That's a good point, though. I never thought about that, Bobby. But Sark knew that, right? He
didn't because he hadn't
done the game yet. I mean, in Texas, yeah. That's true.
By the way, I gave Carson Beck a hard time last year. He looks a lot better tonight.
Good for him.
Yeah, he looks a lot better tonight. Now, that offensive line is beastly for Miami. They're good.
It helps.
They're good.
Edmund Lee with a super chat here says, now the hype is over. Let's get down to work. We lost the game. Let's regroup and refocus. Hook 'em. That's a great attitude, Edmund. You're right about that, man. Because now, maybe for Arch, I hate to say it, maybe it is good the hype is done, that the bubble has been burst on all that, and now he can just get back to getting better every week. And if he does get better every week, he'll be just fine. But yeah, I agree that he's got to get back to the basics. The Texas passing game was not what I expected to be stressing about after this Ohio State game, and that's, I think, where we are. Is the passing game looks so inept, not only because Sark and Arch don't seem to have synchronicity right now, but also because Arch is just fundamentally, mechanically, operationally, I think flawed right now. Like, it's just he's not very sound in those areas during the football.
Yeah.
All right. Paxton, I see the super chat. I did not see a question, but I appreciate that. Oh, there it is. Guys, this was honestly, in y'all's opinion, the strangest play calling from Sark since he's been at Texas. Oh, that is good. Strangest. It's honestly, yeah, it is. The Oklahoma State game, honestly, in 2022 was also a very strange one, where we know in retrospect, Quinn's hand was hurt and injury, and they kept throwing it deep and kind of falling for the Oklahoma State's defense was baiting him to throw it deep, and it was a swirling wind that day too in Stillwater, and yet he was being stubborn about, we're going to complete this deep ball, and kind of, in my opinion, also kind of threw themselves out of the game. That might be the only other time that I've been this stupefied by Sark's play calling early on. But he wanted to establish the run. That was clear. They thought they could run on Ohio State from the get-go. Right, guys? I mean, they came out running the football. He passes the football early on in big matchups. They came out running the football. So I think maybe he thought, no, we can play bully ball against them. And I don't know if it worked out the way he thought. They did run the ball effectively, but it didn't work out for Arch.
I don't know if it's the strangest. I mean, I think that they were playing. I got to go back to this, and I don't think it was an ideal game plan, but they were playing good players, guys. I mean, good players. Look at the Ohio State fans. Let's see this. Jesse Jeremy, as I was leaving the game, many Ohio State fans mentioned that they do not want to see us again, and we were the better team, questioning Ryan Day's play calls. I mean, both defenses made two fairly potent offenses look pedestrian at best.
Well, you know what came out of this game for some Ohio State fans? I'm not going to try to speak for all of them. I don't live on their message boards like they do. If I told you you'll win the game, but you're walking out of your stadium with 11 first downs and 203 yards, a lot of people would be like, ooh, That's not going to cut it this year. I don't care how good Texas is on defense. That's a home game. When we had 200 yards and 11 first downs, that's not going to cut it because we have to play at Illinois, at Michigan, and somewhere else on that schedule. So I'm sure that's just the way this game goes. We'll see. We'll see by week 8, 9, are these two of the top 5 defenses in college football. That's what we're going to be watching for out of this game long term.
Like it. Aloha Traveler with a super chat says, Aloha, could the lights just be too bright? If so, how did Sark and Milwee not see it? The alternative is a guy who has great mechanics and throws in practice, but not in games. That seems unlikely to me. Thoughts, gentlemen? He's talking about Archer.
Yeah, I know. I get it. I just don't. I think we went over a little bit. I'm not as concerned as some people are. I think he just needs to get his game speed down. That's what I believe. I think he's got good mechanics. I think he'll show good mechanics. I think he'll be accurate. I think he just was the moment too big. I don't know if the moment was too big. He looked to me like he had the yips early.
It ain't good.
Yeah, but I don't think. I think that's one. It's one of the reasons why you play these 3 games coming up. You can get your game speed down and get a feel for what you need to do at that speed and get hit. I mean, he hadn't been hit all. You know, it's just different. I'm not as concerned as some people are here about Arch, obviously, or clearly.
Sure.
I think that, I mean, like I said, I'd still buy the guy stock. I'm not buying the Heisman hype, but I'd buy the stock for sure because a long-term play.
All right.
I'm going to answer this real quick before that super chat.
Go ahead.
I don't think Notre Dame's overrated. I think Miami's offensive line. I've been watching this game. Miami's offensive line's really good. Like really good. Carson Beck is rarely hit in this game. They're really good up front.
All right. Daryl here with a super chat says, is it time to have a conversation about AJ Milwee? The breakdown of mechanics was Quinn's downfall and what we saw from Arch yesterday. Jerry, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, let's revisit this later in the year. I mean, you got to see improvement. That's what you're looking for, right? Is week to week improvement with a young quarterback. If at the end of the year you don't see any, then that may be an interesting question.
All right. Thank you, Daryl. That is a good point. We'll get back to it. Edmund Lee, how about this one for Bobby? Belated birthday. Wish Bobby not the birthday present you wish for. Hook 'em horns. Yeah, that's true. I forgot. Yeah, I guess.
That's okay. It's okay.
Sorry about that one, Bobby.
Okay.
All right, but yes, happy that Bobby at least got a chance to celebrate with a lot of great Longhorn fans and a lot of.
That's right. It was fun. I had a good day.
Yeah,
I know. They look. Football was back on my birthday. Now we didn't get the Longhorn win, but we got everything else. So
damn right, love it.
Good.
All right, Jay with a super chat says Sark has to let Trey Weissman finish his drives in the red zone. Stop subbing him out. Did this versus A&M last year. Weissman needed at least 20 carries. Because I love Trey. I think Trey Weissman was fantastic. I don't know if he is your best option in the red zone. Not saying he's a bad option. I don't know if he's your best. I think Cedric Baxter might be your best option in the red zone, considering the size and just him this running style, downhill running style. But like I said, I think you should have ran 21 personnel anyway. Had both of them on the field at one time. I don't know when that's going to come. Maybe you won't see it against San Jose State and UTEP, but at one point those guys should be on the field at the same time. I think they've kind of earned that. All right. Joshie here says, Joshie Manning, thank you, Joshie. We appreciate the super chat. Says Arch plays 15% better. We win. Don't think it's unreasonable to think he gets 15% better in 3 weeks.
Yeah. As long as the Texas defense is as good as we think it is after week 1, which means the Ohio State offense is better than, I don't care what Ohio State fans say, better than 11 first downs and 203 yards, as long as they go out and start ripping it up against other people. If Ohio State struggles offensively against some other opponents, then that's a different conversation. But if the Texas defense is as good as we think it will be or is, then I don't think that's far off.
I will say this. I think Ohio State's offense doesn't have the running backs they had last year, clearly. And people were talking about James Peoples from San Antonio being a dude. He's an okay player.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying he's not a good player. He's a good player. He's starting at Ohio State. He's not Judkins or Travion Henderson.
Yeah.
Right, from last year. Neither is C.J. Donaldson.
Yeah.
And I do think, and I think Josh is right. Arch plays 15% better. Texas wins.
But
I think it's reasonable to expect a 15% improvement or 25 or even 30% improvement over the next 3 games as he gets his feet underneath him. I think it's very reasonable.
But here's the flip side to that too, and I agree. But if Texas doesn't get 50% better in the red zone in games that matter, it won't matter how much better Arch plays.
He's got to be a piece of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jack Andrews was wide open walking into the end zone on that ball that Parker Livingston couldn't corral on the 4th.
Oh, yeah.
Jack Andrews was wide open. Yeah. Arch either didn't see him or had predetermined where he was going to throw the ball.
Look, the next 3 games are going to look great for the stats. I don't care if it's 38-7 against San Jose State or 55-10. That doesn't matter these next 3 games because those teams have all lost to opponents already. So just put that on the back burner because the stats are going to look great. All the numbers are going to look great. It's going to be feel-good stuff, right? But if you go to Florida, and let's say you go 1 of 3 in the red zone, you're going to lose to them if they're healthy because they got really good offensive players. If you get 3 red zone chances against Florida and you only punch it in once for a touchdown, chances are you're losing that game because they have good offensive players as long as Lagway's healthy. Now, the way I see Miami physically getting after Notre Dame right now, DJ Lagway's shoulder is on call in that game. He better get down, man. Dude, Miami is physically beating Notre Dame, and I didn't think that would happen. Physically beating them on both sides of the ball. And that doesn't mean Marcus Freeman isn't a great coach. People lose games. Miami's playing their booty off, man.
All right, getting back to Super Chats. Rocky P here says, can you explain the inverted Tampa 2? Just simple, kind of at least a simple explanation is Tampa 2 famously had it was 2 deep safeties, right? And they're responsible for each a half of the field, and your corners are playing the flats, aggressively playing the flats, rerouting the receivers inside. Your middle linebacker had the most stress on them in the old school Tampa 2 because they had to drop sometimes at least 25 yards deep and responsible for that intermediate deep middle area of the field, those inside crossing routes. And when you have 2 deep safeties, you're most vulnerable in the intermediate area, right? Because you got 2 deep safeties and most linebackers don't drop deep enough. They're always a little shallow in their drops. And so the inverted Tampa 2 essentially puts 3 high safeties. 2 of them still are going to be deep, taking halves of the field. But then that middle field safety, he's going to drop down. Instead of having that middle linebacker drop deep, he's going to drop down from depth, and he's going to automatically be able to defend those in-cutting intermediate routes where you're susceptible to when you have 2 deep safeties and your linebackers don't drop deep enough. So essentially the inverted Tampa 2 it takes care of one of the biggest weaknesses of the Tampa 2, the original Tampa 2. That's in a nutshell, Rocky. So thank you, Rocky. I appreciate that. Hope that was a good enough explanation. Super chat. What y'all think of Alabama? I don't know. I like Kalen DeBoer, but I'll admit, that's why you don't follow a legend. I mean, I think he's a damn good coach, but following the legend is tough, man.
I've never been a type Simpson guy because I thought he had a very long release. I've never been a Simpson guy. If things keep going south, if they'll go to somebody else, whether it's his fault or not. I mean, they're going to have to go Keelan Russell or the other kid. I mean, not that it was his fault they lost, because defensively they were bad, and there were plays where guys did not run to the football. It's out there on social media. Guys were Rod. There were 2 or 3 plays where multiple guys were not running to the football. You have issues.
Effort issues. That's good. That's terrible.
Yeah. That was the thing. Now, I'll say this. Thomas Castellanos went James Brown in the Big 12 championship game. That dude opened his mouth and backed it up.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, when you come out and say Nick Saban's not coming to save you,
He said it
in Tallahassee, that dude backed it up. That's where college football's fun for me, because that guy, if you put him coming out of high school in front of all the QB gurus and offensive gurus, not one single guy would sign him or offer him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that dude's a freaking winner. And in the college game,
you can go. You and Diego
there's a lot of ways to win games, man.
Yep, I agree with you. Yeah, they got it. I'm with you. That's a great point about it, though. He carries that chip on his shoulder too. He plays with it. You can tell. Spank B, thank you for the super chat, Spank B. Do y'all think Sark game plan could have changed when he realized Baxter was healthier than he thought?
Well, is he though? It kind of goes back to what Bobby said. Like, does he have the ability to stick that leg in the ground and burst outside? Does he have that ability, or is he right now a guy wearing a big brace that's a gap runner?
Yeah, in between the tackles right now. Yep. Downhill.
Yeah.
Yep. I think you're right.
I think it still takes time. It still takes time.
Yeah. But he definitely felt like he could run on them. Go look at his early game, early down pass rate. I mean, it's low. I think it's like 40% or something like that. So he thought, no, we can run on this team. And he was right, just mostly in the second half.
And Bobby, you know what was interesting? They ran it behind Stroh a lot, to your point.
Mm-hmm. Power, man. Oh, Bobby, you're muted.
You're muted.
The big run for Stroh, the big run for Baxter was behind Stroh, in between Stroh and Gooseby.
Yeah.
I would just say this as it relates to that. The problem with the Texas offense is they wanted to run it early, like you said, Rod, and they had marginal success, but you got to complete 3rd and 4 and 3rd and 3.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't, anyways.
No, you're right about that.
Can I answer this question real quick? Because people always ask me. I don't have anything against betting, but if you really want to know why I'm not a betting man, here's why I'm not a betting man. It starts raining in the game and the ball gets slick. You don't know if a 17 and 21-year-olds what they're doing. What happens if the quarterback broke up with his girlfriend the night before the game? What happens if the running back's parents got in the fight or getting divorced? What happens if the quarterback got caught with another girl before the game? There are so many things that go into this stuff that can affect performance outside of what you think in a game. That's why I'm not a betting man.
Yeah.
What if somebody's shaving points?
Oh, that's a different one now.
You never know.
That's a different one.
You think that's not going on in college basketball?
All right, getting back to the super chats. Cade, thank you for the super chat. Says Arch can play with a chip on his shoulder now. With all the new haters, next 3 games will be huge confidence builders. See y'all in Gainesville. Yeah, I mean, Florida's the next big one. There ain't no doubt about that. I mean, we all know that's what we're gearing up for, is that next, and that's another road trip too. So a lot of things need to travel, defense, run game as well.
Remember what I said in the preseason?
You did.
5-game season.
You did. I believe, yeah, you would think like, hey, they could be 3-2 if things go badly early on, they could easily be 3-2. And
but I haven't changed anything what I've been thinking. I do want to see how they perform the next 3 weeks, because I actually think they're a little bit better on the offensive line than I thought they would be.
Yeah, but they're worse at quarterback than you thought they would be.
And that's what I'm saying. Let's wait. If he makes the gains I think he's going to make, things could change really, really quickly.
That's true. I agree.
If he plays well in that game, what's the score of that game in y'all's opinion?
If he just plays well in the second half, because the fourth quarter he was dealing. It's like he figured out something in the fourth quarter. He plays better in the second half. They got a shot to win.
Stop doing play action is what happened.
Yeah.
Marcus Myers, I love this comment. If anybody didn't see the South Carolina game today, I loved how they used the tight ends. Now they do have Lenoris Newton, but I loved how they used the tight ends, and it was really good job. And by the way, for Florida, Florida's schedule looks tougher today. They play at Miami and at LSU before Texas.
Yeah, they're going to be beat up.
That's going to be two physical games. DJ Lagway and that receiver core have to make it through.
That's true. All right, back to Super Chats. Eric Andrews, says, until they fix the red zone, says maybe kick some field goals. We haven't talked about this enough. Should they settle for field goals now that you know you're a bad red zone offense? It's clear you're not good in the red zone and short yardage or goal line. Should you start just taking the points? Tony Hill said that on the post-game Bible. He was like, I think you start taking the points sometime, man. Just take the points. What are your thoughts, guys?
Well, Rod, we had this live during the watch with us, remember? And they were on the 3, and I was like, oh, you got to kick it here. But then they got down to the 1, and I agreed with you. Now you have to go for it. Mm-hmm. Because if you can't get a yard, you really don't deserve to win the game. If you'd got Stone there and it was 4th and goal from the 3, I think Sark would have actually kicked that field goal at that time. But I could be wrong, but I think you should.
I think he would have too. I think there was not. Well, I agree that he leaves points on the board at times, or points on the field. Excuse me. I think that the decisions he made on Saturday were sound. I think the times when he went for it, except for that first one, I think all the other times are legitimate. But by the way, Bert Auburn not starting for Miami tonight.
I know Nick threw that out there. Shout out to Nick here. He says thoughts on Bert Auburn not starting at Miami. What the hell is that all about?
Right. They found a better kicker. I think that same kicker went 4 for 11 last year for him.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Who knew a paper football contest was going to end his career?
Yeah.
That was a foreshadowing, huh, Jerry? Quentin here with a super chat says Tom Brady got benched his first start. They were playing a lot of mind games with Tom Brady. Was that Drew Henson that he was competing with there? Then even Belichick took that when he went to the NFL. He's like, Tom Brady's at his best when he's fighting for his job or believes his job is on the line. And honestly, he's probably right about that. Tom Brady was always good when they drafted another guy right behind him. Some guys are like that. Thank you, Quentin, for that super chat. Nick did see you said thoughts on Bert Auburn not starting at Miami. Bobby just addressed that, so thank you for that super chat as well. Quentin also wants us to know that Aaron Rodgers, his first start, 9 of 34, 54 yards, 2 interceptions.
In the NFL, not college.
There you go. Yep. Mike here with a super chat said, with a lot of guys getting playing time these next few games, who is the player or players who are excited to see and think can contribute later in the season?
Love this question.
Christian Clark goes first on my list. The running back. I think that he's got to be a guy. I think we'll see a little bit more of Dalen McCutcheon. I think we'll see a little bit more of Jordan Washington.
Him and Townsend, I think.
Townsend and Nick Brooks.
Yes,
much because Nick did not play. We think it may have been. Yeah, we don't know for sure, and I don't think Sark would comment publicly, but Nick Brooks did not play yesterday, and I think it's because he was serving a quasi suspension. I think.
Right. I think. How about this one? Emmett Mosley, whenever he plays. I'll throw another one out. Khalil Lockett on 50-50 balls, back shoulder balls. I think as the season moves along, they may find a way to get him on the field if they need that 50-50 ball winner at times.
Yeah, they need to focus on making first downs right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree. All right. Good question there, Mike. All right. Bean, thank you for the super chat. Bean says, if Texas doesn't escort Ohio State to a touchdown, what type of game are we really looking at? I'm a stats man, and stats say Texas played better. The Texas won a lot of the stats, but those critical errors, the penalties. I remember that one drive where they had 2 defensive penalties that led to a touchdown. That was big. I remember on offense, a lot of penalties on offense, pre-snap on the offensive line in critical moments that came back to haunt them too. And you had a turnover. That was big in the game too. I just think Texas made too many mistakes. They were their own worst enemy. They made too many self-inflicted wounds was a big part of this. Penalties, turnovers. Yeah.
And the 2 hands to the face those are really tough. Like those are tough for me because like fouls, the guy's just it's not like you're purposely doing it. It's a mistake, right? But it's a playing hard penalty. That one really stunk because that would have been a hold in the end zone and a safety, and they've been punting it from the 20. Colin Simmons kept the drive alive for a touchdown. So 2 of those were truly impactful on the score of the game. But it's hard for me sometimes to just like really go overboard on plays like that because you're playing hard, you're in the fight of it, and sometimes a hold's going to happen that's a mistake. Sometimes a play like that's going to be a mistake. What you don't want to be is a trend with the same player over the course of a season.
Like that. Hooker from Arkansas says red zone has to be fixed or we will not win the Natty.
No doubt.
100%.
We agree. Sark's going to be asked about it, I'm sure, in the next media availability.
Oh, I think that happens tomorrow.
Kurt Bowles has his question ready.
I was going to say, is he going to be an OTF member that asks him about the red zone? Who's going to do it?
DJ and Jeff will be there.
Yeah, all right. Ari here says, great to meet everyone at Gresso's and had a wonderful weekend. While we didn't win, we have a lot of good tape to learn from. Hookem. Yeah, Ari, thank you for the super chat. And I agree. I think we start addressing the positives now that we've kind of digested this thing. And like I said, all the question marks I had going into the game are actually answered versus Ohio State, and we still end up losing the game. So a lot to be optimistic about. Jesse Germany here says, as I was leaving the game, many Ohio fans mentioned that they do not want to see us again, and we were the better team. Oh, I think we looked at that one earlier. Thank you, Jesse, for the super chat. We appreciate it. Carlos here says, how much could we have used Mosley yesterday? Jerry just brought that up.
He sure did. I think there's something there. I just don't know when he's going to get back. You know, I mean, what's keeping him out at this point? They say it's an injury. Look, guys, I mean, I'm hoping the young man makes it back soon because I do think that they are thin at wide receiver right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're clearly thin. I mean, 4 guys played at wide receiver?
Yeah.
Just 4?
Looks like it.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. Daly McCutcheon was at 4th, right? They got playing time there.
Yeah.
Not
a lot of guys.
3 tight ends? They ended up playing like 3 tight ends or 4?
They played 4 because Nick Townsend played and Jordan
Washington played. So they ended up playing a lot of tight ends, actually. Sark deep in his bag there. All right, Paxton with a super chat here says, thank you for the super chat, by the way, Paxton. We appreciate it. Earl Campbell said it best. Texas won't win a national championship without a non-black quarterback. Is he wrong?
Whatever. I got to be honest. I think that's the wrong way to look at this, bud. Colt McCoy played for 1.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know about that one, Paxton. I don't know if that's one of those statements that I remember that statement. Like I said, I don't know if Earl feels the same way. We'll see if he still feels that way. All right, Joe Woods for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Joe. We appreciate it. It says, are we sure Arch isn't adopted? Just kidding. If the season goes poorly, is Sark on the hot seat? No, Sark's not on the hot seat.
Sark on the hot seat.
Yeah,
first of all,
yeah.
Are we sure Arch isn't adopted? Yes.
Well, that was a meme going around social media today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The meme world was on fire today.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Bunch of them for Arch. The memes, the glasses. They making fun of the glasses now and all that kind of stuff. Oh no,
I didn't know clue. I didn't know that was going on.
I got to be honest. The toughest thing. Look, we've talked about how tough it is going to be Arch Manning as a college quarterback. He is the biggest fight for him this season. I think will be bouncing back from this game. And the guy's gotten tested on 40. He's tough. He's fine. It's going to be not ever looking on social media or actually online or watching TV. That's where it gets to be the term living in a fishbowl.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't really do the things everybody else does because you're going to be talked about negatively if it's bad, like very negatively. I mean, social media is a cruel world when you can hide behind a handle.
Yeah.
And the toughest thing for him is going to be not – and look, it's hard because you have NIL deals. I mean, it's hard not to be on social media. But, man, that's going to be the toughest thing he has to do outside of coming back from this first game.
Deal with
Jeremiah Love just got his hurdle on.
Oh, that guy's awesome. Bobby with a super chat here. Bobby Petronic said, in some defense of Arch, Sark may be joysticking him through the comms a bit with predetermined reads. Saw him do it last year. Thank you, Bobby. I will just say this as a guy who does watch Sark's offense. I have said on the record several times, there are predetermined reads in his offense where that guy's getting that ball no matter what. And you can tell that the quarterback has practiced it all week because he ain't looking at anything else other than that guy. So I don't know how often that happens and how often it happened with Arch. I'd have to go back and look, but obviously it's kind of a guessing game. But I agree with you, Bobby. I do think those are in Sark's offense, predetermined reads. They exist in my opinion. Well, so thank you, Bobby. Daryl says Niblett is not it at punt returner. We agree.
He did not play the ball. Now, unless they told him not to play the ball, you absolutely have to play the ball in a game like that. I'm not saying return it and take risks, but you have to field the ball. Totally agree, unless that was part of the plan, which I would not know if that was part of the plan.
Yeah. Usually their punt returners take a lot of chances, though. I mean, Silas Bowden was very risky in his approach. Hell, Xavier Worthy, it'd be like 3 guys around the damn ball. Xavier Worthy would like sprint through them and then like go get the ball and try to return it. So they usually don't give the punt returners a lot of they don't try to restrain them from going to make plays. So I don't know. Maybe they don't trust.
But Rod, it's almost to your point. Like, did Arch have a hurt shoulder? No, because Sark ran him. He wouldn't have ran him if he started running. So was Niblett back there for 5 or 6 punts? If he was supposed to be catching the football, wouldn't they have replaced him?
That's fair too.
With who? DeAndre Moore, who is playing every play on offense?
I mean, what? Still, just anybody can go back there and catch the football.
No, not just. I mean, I think.
Well, you know what I'm saying, Bobby.
Yeah, I do. I
think
Daylon McCutcheon
is football anytime.
Secure it, yeah, and not lose yardage.
Yeah.
If it's not DeAndre Moore, I think it's Daylon McCutcheon next at punt return.
And then you got a freshman.
I think the fact that they left him out there, it may have been part of what they want. If it was a short punt, you don't touch it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's elements there, and that punter was all over the map too. In fairness, he was not consistent.
But we know this: Niblett was not Silas Bolden out there.
No.
And you're right, but maybe they told him, James, like, if you're not confident, don't do it. Maybe they just trusted guys like Niblett and Xavier Worthy. Remember, Xavier Worthy hadn't even returned punts in high school, guys. And they trusted him to just go out there and do it because his hands were so good. So,
hey, Rod, on your second watch, how many times did Texas huddle in that game? Do you remember?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd have to go track that. That's a good question, Jerry. I did not track that at all. I have to go look. That's good. That's a good question. I'll go look at that next time. That's a good question. Tanner here with a super chat says, "What's up with the sidearm throws? Never seen Arch look so uncomfortable. Also has to learn to put touch on his passing. He was just off balance a lot. He was off balance throwing the football. It looked like he was like tilting over at times throwing the football. So I'm with you, Tanner. At times it looked like he was sidearming too. I brought that up with Bobby. I have no idea. I think that's where the theory comes. People talking about injuries and stuff like that because he was not recognizable in terms of his operation mechanically and fundamentally with his technique and throwing motion. Like it just didn't look the same.
Go ahead, Bobby. I need something to say on that.
I was just going to say the sidearm throws, he's been doing that his whole career, I think, a little bit. He tries to throw off platform some. The issue that tells me it's not a shoulder is how hard he was throwing the ball at times.
Right.
I mean, he was throwing fastballs at, 5 yards.
Yeah.
He wouldn't throw a fastball if his shoulders hurt.
Yeah.
Personally.
And the other thing I would say is if you aren't on the balls of your feet, you're on your heels. And if you're on your heels, you can't step into a throw. And if you're on your heels and there's pressure and you feel pressure, you have to change your arm angle. from a body mechanic standpoint.
And maybe that's why
if you're on your heels, you're going to release it low.
Okay.
Unless you're trying to throw over the top of somebody.
All right. Next super chat. Andy says, can you guys please tell me why Sark went away from a D tackle at fullback and at the 1 and 2 running backs on the field?
That's the 21 personnel you're talking about. And that's the Byron Murphy, Tavondre Sweat look.
Jumbo package, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, maybe because he doesn't have a Byron Murphy and Tavondre Sweat on this team. He went away from it last year too. He tried it a couple times, and I don't think he had the personnel for it last year either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not right about that.
Personal opinion.
Yep. All right, Rocky P with a super chat here. Thank you, Rocky P. Said the scary thing about our defense is that it was great without the stars having good games. I think your stars had good games. You just didn't make a lot of splash plays.
Right.
Not a havoc plays, sacks, tackles for loss, things of that nature. But you're right, Rocky P. If this is the starting point for the defense, they still could easily end up as an elite defense by the end of the year. I mean, that was a hell of a performance against Ohio State.
There were only 3 3rd and longs in that game, correct? I think there were 3 3rd and longs where actually Texas would have had an opportunity.
To pass rush. Like put the NASCAR, they had the NASCAR, but they didn't play it a lot, to your point, Jerry. Maybe they weren't in a lot of 3rd and long.
Ohio State did a great job of winning enough on first down without getting first downs and total yards to keep saying where they wanted him to in that game.
All right, let's thank our sponsor, and then we'll answer a few more questions before we end tonight's live stream. Let's thank our friends over at Rogue Shop one more time. Rogue Shop, bringing real plant medicine back to its roots. Make sure to use that promo code. You see it right there on your screen on Texas, and you'll get a very special discount from our friends over at Rogue Shop. They have it all from oils and creams to flour, gummies, and vitamins. They also ship nationwide, no matter where you are in this great country of ours. You can trust our friends at Rogue Shop to get their fantastic products to you, no matter if you're dealing with sleep deprivation, anxiety, or aches and pains. Check out some of the great items over at Rogue Shop, and they'll help you battle those ailments and help you come out on the winning side of that battle at rogueshop.com. All right, super chats here, a couple more. Lou, thank you for the super chat. Said, let Arch develop publicly. It says throw the ball 30, 35 times just for the live reps. We'll pay dividends later. Okay.
I completely agree with this.
Okay.
Completely agree. He needs reps. He needs reps against live bullets. I really believe that. He needs to know he needs to settle into a game rhythm.
So how many throws would you give him in these games? And what's his average?
I would literally try to drive him back 25 to 30 times.
Okay.
I mean, I would start with some simple throw. I mean, I just get him game reps. He hit the thing that I felt like, and I go back to the very beginning. He sped up when he didn't need to speed up at times of this game, and he was slow when he needed to be faster. Yeah. That's just finding your rhythm.
Yeah.
And once he finds his rhythm, I think everything's going to be fine. And he's done it in practice now. If he hadn't done it in practice, I'd be going, oh, he'll get there. He'll get there.
I like that. Good description there, Bobby. Silver Spurs Sicko says, how bad is practice going to be this week for the boys? Yeah, it's going to be it. Yeah, let's think about it. I think, honestly, it's going to be Sark that's in a bad mood. Defensively, I think PK is going to be like, listen, guys, we got to do what we do. That's what we do. We need some more turnovers. We need to make some more plays, get our hands on some footballs. But if you're PK, I don't know if you're going to be hard on your guys. I think you're pretty proud of the product you put out there. Offense, though, oh, yeah, penalties on offense. I guess you had some of those on defense, but the execution and precision and the lack of timing and continuity, yeah, Sark's going to be in a bad mood.
I think the quarterbacks and wide receivers are going to have a rough go this week.
Yeah, yep. It's going to be a lot of dog cussing and yelling and screaming at the passing. Anybody involved with the passing game, pretty much. So that's everybody.
And then and here's the good news: Lamb. It's going to look great.
That's it. Better. It better.
I guess you got to say there's we're in such a have and have not world in college sports, Texas is going to have guys running wide open in these games because these teams are going to have to sell out to stop the run, or they're going to give up chunk rushing yards, carry after. Central Michigan ran it straight up the gut on San Jose State. Straight up the gut.
I don't want to see Bo Meester in this game. I want him to be on the sideline, just kicking it with a Gatorade in his hand, looking in the stands. I don't want to see Bo Meester in this game. I think that will get the fans, pumped up and excited. No punting, baby. Just touchdowns and scores, field goals. Put Shipley out there a couple of times. All right, Quentin here says all 22 tells a different story. Wide receivers were open. Everyone just has to play better. I saw there was some guys that were open. There's no doubt about that. I agree with you, Quentin.
There's guys that are open. The thing I always not question, but I think you have to take into part of this conversation is if you just watch it and watch the wide receivers, oh, that guy was open. Why didn't he go with the ball there? Well, was there a defensive lineman in his vision? Could he see that guy? Where was he at in his progressions? It's like just because somebody's open doesn't mean he's looking that way or he's in that progression or he can see that guy. There's a lot going on in front of a quarterback. So that's the only thing I say about that stuff. I think it's easy to sit there and say, oh, we had two guys open. Well, where was Sark telling him to go with the ball? 1. 2, did he have vision on that guy? Was he that far into his progressions? I mean, there's a lot that plays into all this.
And another thing, Jerry, in your pre-snap, did you even expect that guy to be open based on what you saw pre-snap, which didn't match your post-snap? So,
yeah.
To your point, a lot of nuance in that conversation. Thank you, Quinn, for that. Bean here says, if Arch stinks at Florida, will he get benched? No. He ain't. Sark ain't benching Arch. That ain't happening. No. Yeah. Quinn says, Taft is his team view Caleb Downs. He's great. Taft is awesome. Taft had I thought Taft had a really good game. They just need guys to make more splash plays on defense, but I thought the DBs actually for Texas played pretty well. I know Gilbo gave up that long touchdown, but it was a contested catch, and Carnell Tate's an NFL player, so he's going to get his. Tanner Frazier, last one here, says Wingo still not running crisp routes. Also thought more needed to get more flat to the 40 on the first throw of the game.
I think the first throw, I'll let you address Wingo. I think the first throw of the game, if Arch would have layered that football a little, that's an easy completion. That was wide open. I get what you're saying, but that should have just been a pitch and catcher there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think, look, Ryan Wingo is still a work in progress. Anybody that thinks he's finished becoming anywhere near a finished product, I think you're mistaken. I do think he's better this year at running routes. I saw that yesterday. I would say that he does round things in part because he's fast.
He's big.
Yeah, and he's so big. That's why. But my thought on that, Tanner, and I think it's a fair question, is what type of routes are guys like Ryan Wingo best at running? And he'll continue to get better. But I believe that Texas has to get the ball more to Ryan Wingo, not less, because I think he's the one guy at receiver that could put a little fear in the hearts of a defense.
Yeah.
So to your point, I see where you're going with it, Tanner. There's a level of it there that I agree with. This isn't pro football though. That's another thing everybody needs to remember. Pro football, if Ryan Wingo's not, there, boom. I mean, it's still college football. They're still learning. You hope they're not, but they are.
He's great with the ball in his hands too. You just need some easy wide screens, a slant route for him every now and then, just a quick hitch. I mean, he's really good with the ball in his hands too. So, to that point, thank you, Tanner. We appreciate the super chat, and thank you guys all for the super chats. I mean, you guys had so many great questions. We couldn't get to all of them, but you can direct them to these gentlemen bright and early tomorrow morning at Coffee and Football, 8:15 tomorrow. Bobby and Jerry. Also, tomorrow we'll have our nighttime live stream of the winning drive. That'll be myself, Coach Bob Shipley, and CJ Vogel. So if you have any questions for me that I missed, you can direct them to us at the winning drive tomorrow. That'll be at 7:15. So thank you very much to Matthew behind the scenes, always doing a great job. Thank you to all you guys out there. We really appreciate the super chats and your participation. Also, thank you to our sponsor. Thank you very much to Rogue Shop, rogueshop.com. And for Jerry and for Bobby and for Matthew, I'm Lifetime Longhorn Rod Beavers. Until next time, hook 'em horns.
Hook 'em.